Hello everyone and welcome to 9-Inch Charge, a Warhammer Age of Sigmar and Warhammer the Old World discussion channel. Today we're going to talk about the board size in Age of Sigmar. Now it's changing from a 6 foot by 4 foot board to a 44 by 60 inch board. Now this means that you lose 2 inches off each of the long sides and 1 foot off the short side. During this video we'll be looking at what's available to play on this board size from Games Workshop and other companies, and also what this means for your games. Just before we start, I'd really appreciate it if you enjoyed this video or found it useful in any way if you gave it a like, and if you'd like to see more like this in the future, please subscribe. It does mean a lot. Previously, Games Workshop sold the Realm of Battle tiles to play your games on that were 6 2-foot squared texture tiles to paint and model and play your games. These can still be found with independent stockists for around about £180. The Shattered Dominion Realm of Battle board was a great product because it didn't include any of the hills that our models love sliding down and could be painted to look like any realm. To replace this, Games Workshop have brought out the Ghurish Expanse. This is substantially cheaper at £30 and it's composed of 2 reinforced cardboard tiles that when combined fold out to 44.8 by 30 inches. They're much easier to store and much more convenient for getting out to play a game. However, they are made of cardboard, so spilling your beer here is not an option. They fold out to 44.8 by 30 inches, which they claim is perfect for 1000-point games, but the rulebook suggests that games are played on 44 by 30, so it's nearly an inch too big. I do think it's an odd decision for Games Workshop to create a product that doesn't meet the exact specifications that they suggest in their rulebook. To play a 2000-point game, you'll need to buy 2 of these boxes, which pushes the price above its competitors like neoprene gaming mats, which are the correct size and not made of cardboard, and are more hard-wearing and resistant to spills. It also pushes it above the cost of the Battle Tile system by Kristoff Designs, which is a similar product to your Realm of Battle boards, except it's made of laser cut MDF. It's still textured and comes with loads of different tiles and tokens and objective markers, and is what I'm hoping to play my games on in the future. Because I'll be able to grit it up and make it a bit more robust, and I prefer something that's actually textured rather than flat and printed to look textured, but that's just my personal opinion. I know people swear by the neoprene mats. You've just got to find what is best for you ultimately. I can remember one Warhammer Fest, Games Workshop were asked the question why didn't they release a neoprene mat, and the response was that there wasn't a company that had the capacity to make enough of them, and they didn't have the capacity to make them themselves. But from this picture from the Warhammer community, it does now look like they are using mats at Warhammer World instead of their old Realm of Battle boards. But moving on, let's have a look at how this affects your game. For me, the biggest change about this is space. Gaining an extra foot along the side of the battlefield gives me space to keep my books and to keep my measuring devices and my dice and my reinforced units or units that I'll potentially summon, and all importantly, a place to keep my beer. Not having enough space has really been an issue for me in the past. I've played at gaming venues where the tables have been edge to edge in long rows and no space in between to hold anything, and no shelves underneath the table or anything like that to put anything. I mean, I did even see one person resort to converting a baby's pram to have shelves so that they could hold the rest of their army to one side. And having a place to keep your reserve units is so important now. I mean, where are you going to put half your Stormcast army in turn 1 if you don't have space anywhere? So I think for me, the gaming area will still be 6 by 4, but the playable surface will be this new size. And I think that's a really great move. Just really handy, really makes things easier, makes playing your game slicker. Very, very welcome. The next thing that it will affect in a big way is the pace of the game. Because although the points for the units have changed so that you will be having smaller armies now, the movement characteristic has remained the same. This means that relatively your units will be able to get across the table quicker. A bit of a result for all those Dwarden players out there. But seriously, there was an issue with Age of Sigmar that was being talked about a lot during Age of Sigmar 2nd edition, that the games were just taking too long to play. Part of this was rerolls. There was an awful lot of rerolls. Rerolls to hit, rerolls to wound, and then your opponent re-rolling saves, and then potentially having an after save, and things were just taking forever. A lot of that's been replaced now by just better game design, by giving +1 to roll, so you're not rolling double the amount of dice, you're just modifying that dice roll. But this is something else that will help speed up your games as well, and will make it easier to get onto objectives, and I hope create more fun moments in your games and less standoffish moments. Now, I would like to say something about how the game is changing in general. As someone who's probably one of the old guard of the hobby, who's been in it for, oh goodness me, over 20 years now, I can remember a time where Games Workshop's focus seemed to be much more on selling models than having people actually enjoy their experience. I'm thinking back to Warhammer Fantasy Battles 8th edition, where all of a sudden, in order to be effective, instead of taking 25-man units, you needed 50 men in a unit. You needed to take horde-size units, and it all became about just buying more of the product. I just think it's so positive to see a company that made everybody take hordes 10 wide and 5 deep change completely and make a game that everyone enjoys and has a good pace and fewer models. And it shows how much they care about the player's experience and realise that this is a premium product. Ultimately, although I'm all for this new board size, I know that it's something that has been divisive. It's been something that's been divisive inside my own hobby group, which is generally really positive, from people saying they don't enjoy the new size to people saying they don't want to play on it. I think the thing that we have to remember is that ultimately this is a recommended board size, so nobody's forcing you to play on it. You can still bring your Realm of Battle with you, and you can still play on any size you want, really. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts and opinions, especially about the Ghurish Expanse. I mean, is there something that I'm missing there? And please let me know how your games have been going on this new board size. Have you been enjoying it or not? Thank you very much for watching. This has been 9 Inch Charge, and I will catch you next time.